Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to Friday's edition of the MUFC Daily. He has spoken. Ralf Rangnick, or as I'm calling him now, King Ralf, had a press conference, all of his very own today. Of course, let's step back a little bit because last night Manchester United played Arsenal at Old Trafford and won. It was a very unbalanced game. Look, this is how I saw it. I saw two very poor sides play a very unentertaining game of football, and United won. And I'm really, really glad. What happened afterwards was really shocking to me and everyone else in the football community, because Michael Carrick, as soon as the game was finished, announced that he would resign as a Manchester United coach. So this is huge. I mean, I did have my suspicions when he did the press conference pre the Arsenal game, because he wasn't very forthcoming about playing with Rangnick, not playing, but coaching with Rangnick and learning from Rangnick. So what do I think's really happened here? Well, I don't think that Michael Carrick, a man who didn't quit with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and stayed there, just walked out of principle. He said a lot of stuff like wanting to spend time with his family, blah, blah, blah. He's been at United for 15 years. It's time to move on. I don't believe any of it. I think he either jumped before he was pushed, or he was told his services would no longer be required. So McKenna and Phelan are remaining. Now, Ralf spoke about this today and said, listen, I need these coaches here because, as I said yesterday or the day before, you need someone there to brief you on the players and the club. So you need someone, and at the end of the season, probably they will be moved on as well. He spoke about wanting to bring in a couple of coaches of his own, but he said it's a bit problematic with Brexit. So let's see what happens there. But look, this guy is a new way of thinking. This is a new dimension of football management in terms of Manchester United, because he was very professional. He was very honest as well, but didn't give away all his plans. He was asked about his future. He said if it goes well, he would like to continue as the manager next season. Very, very interesting, because we've spoken about that before, haven't we? I'm not surprised by this. Researching the man, it was always obvious that he wasn't just going to want to do an interim role. Some people were a bit disappointed because they want him to go upstairs and develop the club. Fergie developed the club by being the manager, and he basically had a stranglehold over the whole club. So Ralf can do that too. The number one priority should be at this moment is the first team, because they're your bread and butter. We need to build this first team up. It's so important. So Ralph's a really great football guy. He's a pioneer, and it's great to have him as manager. So if he does well, and I think he will, he definitely should stay as long as possible. As far as I'm concerned, he said something very interesting. He did say that he'll be looking to bring players in on their first contracts and second contracts. Players just starting out in their 20s, teens, 20s. Maybe even 24, 25. And this is something Fergie did before all he cared about was protecting his legacy in his final couple of seasons. We saw what happened when he brought in Van Persie to win him the league, which happened. And Ferguson wasn't doing what he was doing before at the end of his United career. He wasn't bringing young players. As he used to put it, players who can take on a challenge. What he meant was players who are young enough to take on a challenge. Once you hit 30, mostly Fergie used to bin you. And I think this guy has got the same mentality. He'll bring teenagers in, early 20s, mid 20s, and that's good, because Manchester United haven't done that since peak Fergie. So that's a good thing to hear as well. So I think this is great. It was great to see him do his press conference, and obviously is it Southampton on Sunday? So a very important game, but we could lose that game. Ralph's Ralph's had the players who didn't play last night, which are actually really good players, because Carrick always doesn't play the best players because it's Ollie ball and all he cares about is defence and counter-attack. But on Friday and Saturday he'll have all the players, because they would have had their, their rest. So 2 days is not a lot, but it's better than nothing. It's all about who he picks and how he tells them to play. It's not rocket science, really. So I think we'll see a more offensive Manchester United against Southampton. I'm very excited for that game. Look, in a way, it's embarrassing that we need a fixer like Ralph to come in, but it is what it is. I mean, as I say, he's a great guy. He's built 2 clubs up from the bottom up. So, and can I just say about Patrice Evra's comments on Amazon Prime? I was stunned. I normally find the guy hilarious and interesting. He doesn't understand why Ralph's there. He's worried about Manchester United's DNA. But as I said on Twitter, Patrice, what DNA are you talking about? Sir Matt Busby? Sir Alex Ferguson? Or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whose DNA was to be scared and defend and hit teams on the break, and that's why his teams were shit at home and good away. Is that the DNA you're talking about, Patrice? Now, sorry, I'm very, very confused. He looked really angry. And because he doesn't care about Manchester United, it's an old boys club. It's all these ex-legends trying to look after each other. And I'm sick to death of it. They need to be driven out of the club. They shouldn't even be allowed to watch fucking matches. Maybe I'm going too far there. Yes, I am. You are going too far there, Mick. But it's frustrating to listen to some of the bullshit that these people say. You don't understand why a pioneer like Ragnick is there. Really? You'd prefer one of your friends, of course. Well, sorry, Patrice, those days are over. This is a new, as I say, a new way of thinking. This is a guy who was actually talking about controlling the game, and fascinatingly enough, he said not just when you've got the ball, but when you haven't got the ball, which was very kind of interesting to me. So this is the real deal. But he ain't a fucking magician. It's going to take a lot of time to sort this team out and sort this club out. But I think Ralph's the man to do it. If he can't do it, who can? Look, we've made mistakes. He spoke about having too many different managers since Sir Alex has left, and it's just not good. And buying the same type of players all the time rather than buying different types of players because you're getting different managers in. So Ralph is looking for consistency from the running of Manchester United, not just from the games and the first team. He was very complimentary about Cristiano Ronaldo, saying he believes that he does press. He's a good player. He's in great shape for a man of his age, 36. So Ralph, on the surface, looks very, very impressed with Cristiano Ronaldo, which will be a hammer blow to the Cristiano Ronaldo haters. I don't really know why they hate him. It's the Ollie fans. It's the Ollie fans blaming anyone but Ollie for what happened. Because I think, and this is concerning with this fan forum thing where fans are going to have a place on the board. I mean, if it was up to them and they had any power on the board, they'd probably, bring back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager. People are nuts. Honestly, some of the stuff on Twitter, ever since some of these people, I'll call them people, decided to bring this flag of Ollie in, it's divided the fan base. Not that it takes much, right? Now, I don't like it, but if you want to, if you want to give your appreciation to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the manager, and not the player, that's entirely up to you. I don't understand what you're actually appreciating. You keep on telling me what he did. What did he do? The youth system development was Louis van Gaal. He had nothing to do with it, and he bought players any fucking idiot would bought in. So what? What has he done? All right, he got rid of a couple of players that needed to go. Again, that's not rocket science. So thank Ollie the player for being a great player, but the manager was awful. It's like we're full of emotion now, our fandom, isn't it? I mean, it's like the Carrick situation where everyone's going, oh, thank you for everything you've done, Michael. Yeah, thank you for when you were a player and you were great, but didn't we thank you and congratulate you when you retired as a player? Why are we doing it again? Surely we're not congratulating you for your lack of achievements for being a bad coach. So again, this is why from now on we've got to put this DNA bullshit to bed. Although Ralph said the DNA of the club is important. What he means by that, of course, is not Ollie and Michael Carrick. He means the traditions of playing great, fast, vibrant, attacking football, which we haven't done, maybe, in 5 to 7 years. This has been the MUFC Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow with even more MUFC Daily. Until then, goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.